You might be reheating last night's dinner right now without realizing. It could be quietly harming your health. It sounds harmless, even smart, but here's the truth. Some common foods, when reheated, can silently disrupt your digestion, trigger inflammation, and even affect your memory and balance, especially after age 60. No pain, no nausea, just subtle fatigue, brain fog, or joint stiffness that creeps in over time, but science is catching up. The worst part, you might not feel anything at first. Studies from journals like the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition have confirmed that reheating certain foods doesn't just reduce their nutrients, it can create compounds that strain your heart, spike your blood sugar, and inflame your joints. What feels like a quick, easy meal might be setting your health back in ways you can't see until it's too late. This video is your wake-up call. You're about to discover 3 foods seniors should never reheat, and 3 others that actually become more powerful when warmed properly. And stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal one everyday food that looks innocent but may be quietly damaging your body every time you heat it up again. If you care about your memory, your mobility, and your long-term independence, keep watching. What you're about to learn might change how you see your leftovers forever. Section 2. Why seniors need to be picky with leftovers. As we age, our bodies become less forgiving. Digestion slows down, inflammation becomes harder to control, and the smallest dietary choices start to have a much bigger impact. One of the most overlooked reheated food, it seems harmless. Leftovers are easy, convenient, and save money, but for seniors, that second round in the microwave isn't just about taste, it's about chemistry. When you reheat certain foods, their structure changes, fats oxidize, proteins harden, starches break down and reform into compounds that are harder to digest or even harmful to your body. These changes are subtle, but they affect how your body reacts, especially when your metabolism isn't what it used to be. That bloated feeling after lunch, the stiffness in your knees, the fogginess that hits mid-afternoon. It might not be just getting older. It might be what you ate and how you heated it. This matters more than most people realize. Your digestion powers your immunity. Your blood sugar affects your energy and mood. Your heart, brain, and joints all rely on what you put in your body and how well it can use it. So if you've ever wondered why you feel tired after a simple meal, or why your joints ache for no clear reason, it's time to look at what's on your plate and how often it's being reheated. Next, let's look at 3 common foods that can do real harm when reheated, starting with a surprising one that most seniors eat, often thinking it's healthy. Section 3. Eggs. When a superfood turns against you. Eggs are one of the most celebrated health foods out. They're packed with protein rich in vitamins like B12 and D, and easy to prepare for seniors, especially eggs. Can support brain health, muscle strength, and energy levels. But here's what most people don't know. Reheating eggs can quietly turn them from nourishing to harmful. When you first cook an egg, its proteins unfold and become easier to digest, but when that egg cools and is reheated, especially in a microwave or frying pan, the proteins tighten up again, becoming harder to break down. This can lead to bloating, stomach discomfort, and poor absorption of nutrients, particularly in older adults whose digestion is already more sensitive. Worse if that egg was fried or scrambled in oil or butter. Reheating, it can cause the fats and cholesterol to oxidize, creating inflammatory compounds that strain your arteries, increase cholesterol, and raise your risk for heart disease. The change is silent. You won't feel it right away. But over time, the damage builds. You might notice more fatigue after breakfast. You might feel heavy, sluggish, or experience brain fog. You may even blame it on aging without realizing you're leftover. Eggs are part of the problem. And there's another layer of risk if eggs are stored improperly or left out too long before reheating. Bacteria can grow. That means reheated eggs aren't just harder to digest, they could become unsafe, especially for those with weakened immunity. So what's the solution? Eat your eggs fresh, boiled, poached, or gently scrambled right after cooking. Avoid saving them for later or zapping them in the microwave the next day. In this season of life, your body deserves food that supports it, not food that quietly works against it. Coming up next, a comfort food most of us grew up loving, but that can become a hidden trap when reheated. Section 4. White potatoes, the comfort food that betrays. There's something deeply familiar about white potatoes, mashed, roasted, or baked. They've been a staple at family dinners for generations. Warm, soft, and satisfying, they feel like a hug on a plate. Sin mainwardi. But here's the problem. Reheating white potatoes can quietly hurt your health in multiple ways, especially as you age. Even when freshly cooked white potatoes have a high glycemic index, that means they turn into sugar quickly in your body, causing sudden spikes in blood sugar. For older adults whose blood sugar control naturally declines with age, that's already a concern, but reheating them makes things worse. When potatoes are cooked, cooled, and then heated again, especially when combined with buttercream or oil, their starches can transform into forms that are harder to digest and more likely to increase insulin resistance. That means more inflammation, more sugar crashes, and more pressure on your nerves and blood vessels. You may feel unusually tired after eating them or notice tingling in your feet or stiffness in your legs, not realizing it's connected to that comforting plate of leftovers. And it doesn't stop there. Many people store potato dishes in plastic containers. When those are microwaved, they can release BPA and other chemicals into the food substances linked to hormone disruption and cardiovascular stress. So now your mashed potatoes aren't just raising your blood sugar, they might also be affecting your heart and your hormones. To make things worse, white potatoes don't offer much in return. Unlike sweet potatoes, they lack antioxidants that fight aging and inflammation. They fill you up, yes, but they don't protect you. They satisfy the taste buds but quietly drain your vitality. For seniors looking to stay strong, energized, and independent, this is a trade-off that simply isn't worth it. If you love potatoes, consider switching to sweet potatoes and eat them fresh when possible, because reheated white potatoes might feel comforting, but they're not. Comforting your body, coming up next to food that seems earthy and healthy, but when reheated becomes surprisingly risky. Section 5, cooked mushrooms. A nutrient lost and a threat gained. Mushrooms often feel like the perfect food, earthy, low in calories, rich in antioxidants and gentle on the stomach. They're often added to stir-fries, soups, or sautés for flavor and nutrition. But here's the hidden truth. Reheating cooked mushrooms can quietly turn them into a health risk. Here's why. Mushrooms are made up of delicate proteins and amino acids. When you cook them the first time, those proteins shift into a digestible form. But when you reheat them, especially at high heat or after improper storage, those same proteins can denature, further forming compounds that are harder for the body to break down. For younger adults, this might not be a big deal. But for seniors with slower digestion or sensitive guts, it can lead to bloating, discomfort, and nausea, even if the dish looks and smells fine. But the real danger isn't in the taste, it's in what you can't see. Improperly stored mushrooms, especially those cooked in butter or oil and left out for too long, can grow dangerous bacteria like Clostridium botulinum or Listeria. These pathogens don't always trigger obvious symptoms right away, but they can quietly cause digestive upset, fatigue, or even affect the nervous system over time, particularly in older adults with weaker immune defenses. And there's more. Reheating also strips mushrooms of the antioxidants that make them healthy in the first place. The longer they sit and the more they're exposed to heat, the fewer protective nutrients they retain. You end up with food that may taste good, but no longer offers the benefits you think you're getting. So what's the solution? Eat mushrooms fresh right after cooking. If you have leftovers, store them quickly in the fridge and eat them cold. If at all, never reheat them more than once. And always be cautious with mushrooms that have been sitting out or mixed into creamy dishes. It's a small habit that makes a big difference, especially when your digestion, immunity, and nervous system need more support, not more stress. Next, we'll shift gears because not all reheated foods are harmful. In fact, some can become more powerful and more healing the second time around, and the next one on our list might already be in your fridge. Section 6, how to reheat safely, the forgotten rules. Before we dive into the foods that get healthier when reheated, let's pause for something crucial. How you reheat matters just as much as what you reheat. Many of the health risks we've discussed, oxidized fats, harmful compounds, and bacterial growth don't just come from the food itself, they come from poor storage and reheating practices. Here are 4 simple but powerful rules every senior should follow when dealing with leftovers. 1. Don't let food sit at room temperature for too long. Once food cools down after cooking, it should go into the refrigerator within 2 hours or 1 hour if the room is warm. Leaving it out longer creates the perfect environment for bacteria to grow, even if it looks and smells fine. 2. Reheat to the right temperature. Use a food thermometer. When in doubt, most leftovers should be reheated to at least 165 degrees 70-40 C to kill off any harmful bacteria. Microwaves often heat unevenly, so stir well and cover the food to trap steam and ensure thorough heating. 3. Avoid microwaving in plastic containers. This is a big one. Many plastics release chemicals like BPA and phthalates. When exposed to heat, these substances can interfere with hormones and damage heart health over time. Instead, use glass or ceramic containers whenever possible. 4. Don't reheat more than once every cycle of cooling. And reheating increases the risk of nutrient loss and bacterial contamination. Only reheat the portion you plan to eat and leave the rest untouched in the fridge. These rules may seem small, but for seniors, they're essential. Little more care in the kitchen today can prevent serious setbacks tomorrow. Now let's shift into the good news, because some leftovers, when reheated the right way, actually become more powerful. And the first one we'll explore is a bowl of warmth, comfort, and ancestral wisdom, vegetable soup. Section 7, vegetable soup, more healing the second time around. There's something timeless about a bowl of soup. Warm, gentle, and easy on the stomach. It's been a symbol of comfort and care for generations. But here's what many people don't realize. Vegetable soup actually becomes more powerful when it's reheated. Yes, unlike some foods that lose value, a good vegetable soup gains depth and nutrition the next day. Here's why. When you simmer vegetables like carrots, celery, onions, leafy greens, and sweet potatoes, their cell walls start to break down. But once the soup sits overnight, more minerals, antioxidants, and plant compounds continue to release into the broth. Reheating it activates this concentrated nutrition, turning your second serving into a natural remedy for seniors. This matters more than ever. As the immune system weakens with age, we become more vulnerable to infections, inflammation, and stiff joints. But a warm, reheated soup, especially one enriched with garlic, turmeric, or parsley, can soothe the body from the inside out. The heat improves blood circulation, helping warm cold hands and feet. The broth hydrates gently. The herbs fight inflammation, and the soft vegetables deliver vitamins without overwhelming the digestive system. Even the act of eating soup carries emotional power. It's calming, familiar, and feels like something made with love. And days when eating feels like a chore, soup offers comfort without complication. For those dealing with high blood pressure or arthritis, soup is also one of the best ways to get nutrients without heavy fats or harsh spices, and it's easy to customize. Just add more greens, lentils, or healing herbs for extra strength. So next time you open your fridge and see a container of leftover vegetable soup, don't toss it, warm it. Gently sit down slowly and enjoy it like medicine in a bowl. Because sometimes healing doesn't come in a bottle, it comes in a spoon. Up next, a grain that's often overlooked but becomes a nutritional powerhouse when reheated the right way. Section 8, brown rice, a reheated ally for stability and strength. It's easy to overlook brown rice. It's simple and flashy, just a side dish. But for older adults, reheated brown rice might be one of the most powerful staples you can eat. Unlike white rice, brown rice still contains the bran and germ, the parts packed with fiber, magnesium, selenium, and B vitamins. These are the nutrients your body needs more of as you age. But here's where it gets even better. When you cook brown rice, then let it cool and reheat it later, it forms something called resistant starch. This is a type of carbohydrate that your body can't fully digest in the small intestine. Instead, it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, supporting digestion, boosting immunity, and reducing inflammation from the inside out. For seniors managing blood sugar issues, reheated brown rice is especially helpful. It digests slowly, providing steady energy without sugar spikes, keeping your pancreas, brain, and mood more stable throughout the day. And there's another benefit. Magnesium. Brown rice is naturally rich in this mineral, which many seniors lack. Magnesium plays a key role in muscle relaxation, nerve function, blood pressure control, and even sleep quality. Ever had restless legs at night or cramps in your calves? Magnesium could be the missing piece. But the benefits aren't just physical. There's also something emotionally grounding about a warm bowl of rice. It connects us to routine, to nourishment, to family meals we remember fondly. And when reheated with a little water, olive oil, or soft vegetables, it becomes a dish that's easy to chew, easy to digest, and endlessly adaptable. For older adults who struggle with big meals or complex prep, brown rice can be a quiet but powerful foundation, both for your plate and your health. Coming next, the most surprising food on this list are warm breakfast that actually gets healthier when reheated and strengthens the gut, heart, and mind with every spoonful. Section 9, oatmeal, a warm hug that strengthens the gut and heart. Some mornings just feel heavier than others. Your energy is low, your stomach feels sensitive, your focus is off, and that's exactly when a warm bowl of oatmeal can do. More than fill you up, it can center you. But here's something most people don't know. Reheated oatmeal isn't just convenient, it's actually more powerful the second time around. How when oatmeal is cooked, cooled, and then gently reheated, it forms resistant starch just like brown rice. This unique carbohydrate resists digestion in the small intestine and goes straight to the colon where it feeds the good bacteria in your gut. That means better digestion, lower inflammation, and stronger blood sugar. Control all essential for healthy aging, but that's just the beginning. Oatmeal is rich in beta-glucan, a soluble fiber known to lower LDL, bad cholesterol, and support heart health for seniors at risk of cardiovascular issues starting the day with Reheated. Oats can be a simple but effective act of prevention. And unlike sugary cereals or processed breakfasts, oatmeal is naturally gentle, it's easy on the stomach, customizable to any taste, and doesn't lead to blood sugar crashes. Add a few walnuts for healthy fats, a sprinkle of cinnamon for circulation, or blueberries for antioxidants that fight cellular aging. The warmth also has emotional weight, it's grounding, it's calming. It feels like a small act of care even when the day ahead feels uncertain. For older adults, these small rituals matter. They set the tone, they send a message. I'm still here, I still choose to nourish myself. So tomorrow morning when you see yesterday's oatmeal in the fridge, don't throw it away, warm it slowly, add something colorful, eat with intention. Because what might seem like a leftover might actually be a lifter. And now as we wrap up this journey through what to reheat and what to avoid, there's one food left. It seems harmless. It's probably in your fridge right now, but it could be doing more damage than you ever imagined. Let's talk about it next. Section 10, the one food in your fridge that deserves a second chance. There's one food almost everyone keeps in their fridge. It's soft, comforting, and easy to pair with almost anything, but reheated the wrong way, it might be quietly working against your brain, your balance, and your blood sugar. That food is white potatoes. We touched on this earlier, but it's worth repeating. White potatoes, when cooked, cooled and reheated, especially with cream, butter, or oil, transform in a way that can harm older bodies. Instead of giving you clean, steady energy, they spike your blood sugar, trigger inflammation, and can even lead to numbness. In the legs and feet, that's not just discomfort, that's a sign your circulation and nerve function are being affected. Worse yet, when these potatoes are stored in plastic and microwaved, harmful chemicals like BPA can leach into your food further, disrupting hormones and heart health. And here's the part that stings. White potatoes don't offer enough in return. They're not rich in antioxidants, they don't help reduce inflammation, and unlike their colorful cousins like sweet potatoes, they don't protect your body as it ages. In short, they taste good but give little back, and when reheated, the cost gets even higher. If you're someone who eats leftover mashed or roasted potatoes regularly, it may be time to rethink that habit. You're not just reheating a side dish, you might be reheating the very thing that's draining your strength. So what deserves a second chance? Your awareness, your choices, your future. Because food is more than fuel. It's either moving you forward or slowly pulling you down, and you get to decide which one it will be. Up next, the big picture. Let's tie it all together and remind ourselves why these small daily choices matter more than ever. During Section 11, closing, choose what heals, not what hurts. As we grow older, life becomes more precious, not just in years, but in the quality of each day. And the truth is, our everyday choices shape how we feel tomorrow. Reheating food may seem like a small thing, something you do without thinking, but for seniors, it carries real weight. Because your body no longer bounces back the way it used to, every meal now becomes a decision to support your energy or drain it, to protect your heart or strain it to nourish your mind or cloud your memory. We've seen the quiet dangers in foods like eggs white, potatoes, and mushrooms, harmless on the surface, but potentially harmful when reheated. And we've discovered the surprising power of foods like oatmeal, vegetable soup, and brown rice meals that actually get stronger when treated with care. This isn't about fear, it's about awareness, about reclaiming your health with simple, loving choices that honor the stage of life you're in. You don't need to overhaul your diet overnight, but you can start with the next thing you take out of the fridge. Ask yourself, is this going to help me feel better, or is it going to quietly work against me? Imas. That kind of awareness adds up day by bite, and before you know it, you're not just avoiding illness, you're building strength, not just surviving, but thriving in this, or chapter of life. So as you head into your next meal, remember this. Not everything deserves a second chance on your plate, but your health does every time. If you found this video helpful, please hit the like button, leave a comment below, and subscribe to HR Healthy so you don't miss our next valuable health insight. Your support helps us continue creating content that empowers you to live stronger, longer, and more intentionally, one meal, one habit, one day at a time.